And today we've got a reading for you about somebody that was in a codependent dynamic. It could be a romantic relationship, or it could be somebody that was codependent on their family, or even a friend, of course. But after this codependent energy kind of I don't know, got a little bit boring for them, this individual decided, you know what, I'm going to go off on my own. I want to move elsewhere, or I want to be single, or I don't really want to live here anymore. And after pursuing a new chapter or more independence, this person's realizing that they had taken for granted all of the things that were easy in their life when they were living with you, or when they were with this person they had previously been codependent upon. Hey, Bitchy Tata, how are you doing? Let's call in spirit with a little bit of wind chime time. So obviously a little bit of don't know what you got till it's gone, hence the title. If you're interested in a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. My email address is wickedwandstarot@gmail.com. It's in the description box for you, as is a link to tell you more about how to join the memberships on the channel. Thank you to the current members. Hello, Rob. Hello, Steven. How are you doing? All right, let's dive in. We're going to go with the Jack-o'-lantern tarot and see what else we've got. We have the Chariot. Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Running away from my problems seems to be where their head was at. Maybe even blaming some of those problems that they had created for themselves on the other person that they'd been living with. So they didn't really want to accept responsibility for the things that they could do to address the instability or the drama. Five of Wands in the reverse, Three of Wands. But now that some time has passed, it's not as easy for them to blame you. It's not as easy for them to say, oh, I'm better off anyways. Now they've had time for some introspection. They've had time to think about what they've done and realize that maybe they acted a little bit impulsively, or maybe they vilified someone who had actually been a pretty positive influence in their life. Hello, Neo. How are you doing? Specifically vanilla flavored would be my recommendation, having previously been a bartender. We've got the Lovers in the reverse. Judgment in the reverse and the Hermit in the reverse. Wow, all major arcana. And I would argue you want all of those in the upright in general. I made a choice and I shouldn't have made that choice. Or I thought that it was the right call to distance myself from you. I do feel like for the majority of you, this is an ex of yours. For some of you, this is like an adult child who didn't really understand how much you were making their life easier. But I'm going to, for the rest of this reading, probably focus more so on the codependent romantic relationship storyline. This is, I really thought I would be just fine, or I thought I would be happier without you. And now I'm realizing all the things that you did that now I have to do for myself, or that nobody does, or, you know, I miss that. So realizing they made the wrong choice, or that they didn't really listen to their intuition, feeling maybe even a little bit arrogant or ashamed of what they chose, because what they did has really put them in a situation where they feel stuck. And that's what they thought they were in before. They didn't know what actually being stuck was until this moment, because they feel like they've ruined any chances of reconciliation with you because of how they handled things. Hey, Nicholas, how are you? Hello, Ron. Valid, Rob. That is still a thing. So we've got someone who realizes that things are not as easy as they had hoped, that maybe even just paying their bills has been a challenge. They're growing to realize just how thankful they should have been for the situation they had with you, and regretting taking it for granted, because now there's very little chance that they can bring this back to life. There's not a lot that they could say to excuse their behavior, because it feels to me like they blamed you for things that were their fault. It's, taking it a little bit too far maybe, right? All right, this is the situations deck. I assume you're talking about the like button. Hello, Velo. Nice trying to insult me. Like, really? Better luck next time? Yeah, that's perfect timing. See, because this is my energy and none of that is going to really cut it. So they had something that made them happy. This relationship, they didn't realize just how happy they actually were, or they didn't realize just how great the situation was, you know? Hey, Rubber Duck, how are you doing? Hello, Chingich. How are you? Thank you. The important thing is no one can call me immature. Wait, actually, they probably can. So we have running, avoiding, racing. So the toxic behaviors that this person, we'll call them the chariot at this point. The chariot is the person who ran away from things, who thought that they could start something different. Maybe even they wanted to have a relationship with someone different. This is realizing they were impulsive, they didn't really think things through, and they attributed faults to you, or they blamed you for things that really were not your fault. Recalling, reminiscing memories. This card is clarifying the happiness card, that sunflower card. So as far as what they remember, even though at the time they somehow convinced themselves that you were not a good influence, or that things weren't really like as good as they should be, now you're realizing, or this person's realizing, that it was actually a really supportive situation, and they walked away from somebody who wanted to do right by them. So there's a conversation that they feel they need to have to admit that they were at fault, or to say, I shouldn't have blamed you, right? But they don't have a lot of time. For some of you, they might only have like 24 hours. I do feel like there's a closing window where they would be able to communicate with you and potentially reconcile, and it's not going to be available or open for a long time, right? Hello, Mahima, how are you doing? Hello, Shivam. Thank you. Hello, Alamgir, how are you? Oh, yeah, that's what we do on YouTube. If you don't like it, you can go to a different channel, sweetie. Hello, Abu, how are you doing? Hello, Gary. If we get to 90 likes or $15 in tips, I will take personal questions at the end. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Mahima. I'm doing pretty well. Thank you, Devda. Is it Devduda? Devdeda? I really do appreciate that. I try to not mispronounce anybody's names, but also I just feel like Indian names are like musical. Hello, Krizzy. How are you doing? Dada? Is that how I should say that? Hello, Jason. How are you doing? So we have somebody that feels their willingness to run away, because they were the chariot, right? They ran away, resulted in their missing an opportunity. They feel like if they can't fix this connection between the two of you, that they will have made their life more difficult for themselves or broken their own heart. So this is a bit of an ego death for them because, of course, they are accepting responsibility or accountability where previously they wanted to blame you for everything. It was easy or convenient for them to blame you, but now that they don't have you to rely upon, or now that there's been some distance, they know it's them. Imagine you live with a person who is a little bit messy and you feel like you were always cleaning up after that person. And then they move out and 3 months later, you still feel like the place is messy. And then you realize, oh, maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm messy. This person realized they're messy and they wanted to blame you for it. Hello, Tony. How are you doing? We've got hiding my emotions and feelings for you. I do think that this is someone who, after they've realized they've made a mistake, once they discover they actually really miss you and they took you for granted, they don't know what to do with that. They're not used to that situation. They don't really like admitting that they're wrong. That's why we have this ego death, right? Are you going to fix things? Because that requires changed behavior. Otherwise, if you want to just like continue to do the toxic energy, you don't get to be around this person that you miss. Ooh, yeah, those are the worst. Hello, Zoe. How are you doing? Hello, Echo. Oh, is that your favorite band? Hello, Swan. If we get to 90 likes or $15 in tips, I will take personal questions at the end. Well, I don't know, Tony, but I have a feeling that if you did a little bit of research, you might be able to find out. But it might be best if you have a little bit of solitude with that, right? Hello, Gillette. How are you doing? Ah, yes. R.I.P. Ozzy. Ooh. So they refuse to let you be the one that got away, but they have been a pretty karmic individual in your life. Now, let's be honest, okay? Because it's easy to vilify karmics. We have all, at some point in our lives, been a karmic for somebody, maybe even karmic to ourselves, right? This is saying this person has taught you what you need to do to protect your energy and what you should actually tolerate from other people. So I think you've benefited from this, even if it's been painful. And now this person might have that chance to also work on those things, right? To level up with regards to that emotional intimacy, the ability to love, and of course, accountability, right? Hello, Deepa. How are you doing? Hello, home. How are you doing? Oh, well, I hope that goes well for you, Akash. Hello, Katie. Oh, well, I hope you get to hear that somewhere, but this isn't a musical channel. Hello, Kalpana, how are you doing? Y'all are funny. We've got the 8 of Wands in the reverse and the 9 of Swords in the reverse with the Prince of Cups. The Prince of Cups would be the Knight of Cups. So, yeah. This person's been keeping, the Chariot has been kind of quiet. They feel these emotions, they're hiding them, but it's getting more difficult for them to remain quiet or to avoid this conversation. Their anxiety is increasing with the 9 of Swords being in the reverse. Their concern over this decision that they made to walk away and the awareness that they don't have much time to fix it is making them feel like they really do have to put together a plan to come through with a pretty impressive apology. But also I feel like they're about to beg to come back, right? Can we please get back together? Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a good day. LOL Shansta. If you want to get like negative reactions out of people who feel insulted by your like low grade effort, you might want to go elsewhere. Yeah. Oh, it was a typo? I don't even know what that is. That's funny. Hello, IDK. How are you doing? Oh, no, I found Jesus. Don't you worry about me. Jesus loves you, too. Hello, Anmal. How are you doing? All of you who are interested in personal questions, I do offer personal readings. First and foremost, my email address is in the description box. But if we get to $15 in tips or 90 likes, then I will take personal questions at the end. So make sure that you like and subscribe. All right, Shasta, we're all right then. I just don't know who that is. And all I saw was chicken. Hello, Damon. How are you doing? What's up, Jason? Hello, Loans. I hope you're having a good day. Thank you. We've got Ace of Pentacles, Prince of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands, Temperance, Four of Swords, and Two of Wands. All right, so I feel like I don't have a lot of time. I feel like I have to rush. I want to make sure this person knows that I'm serious and I want to change my behavior. I do feel like this is somebody who is looking at this as I have to make my best and final offer. I can't just like half-ass it, right? I really do have to show this person how much they mean to me. And I also have to make it clear that if they let me back into their life, that I want to have a good time. I'm not going to try to be toxic or have any of that codependent or like frustrating mind games type energy, right? That I've been working on healing and letting go of those things that made it difficult for me to be happy in the context of a relationship. So they want to show that they have made plans or that they have done what they need to, or at least gotten started on what they need to with that healing. And they may be planning a trip to see you, or they may be trying to get a plan together to convince you to see them, right? Oh, you sure do deserve more, Christina. Sending you blessings. Oh, did I miss Lemonade? What's up, Lemonade? Oh, yeah, you're right. Jesus does know everything. But that doesn't scare me like you think it does. To those that think this is not a loving channel, just watch it for a little bit and see how people act that are regulars in the live chat and whether or not it's loving energy or coming from a place of fear. Hello, Brendan. Wait, but if that's true, does that mean that what you just said is not true? I'm just curious. I'm sending you a big ol' hug, Christina. I've been there before. Hello, Jess. How are you doing? Hello, dragons. All right, so this is the Love Tarot. This will dive in a little bit more on the emotions. We do have someone who has a fear of abandonment. This is somebody who has been like left out or cast aside, perhaps by family members or previous relationships. And this has increased their likelihood of being toxic in relationships because of who they were connecting with before. In other words, they had to unlearn this behavior. They had gotten to the point where they expected everyone to hurt them. And if you're not able to trust anyone, then how can you have a healthy romantic relationship? You really can't, right? Because you're just gonna be jealous or afraid all the time, right? Thank you, Chrissy. That means a lot to me. No, even I'm more interested in doing a tarot reading. Yeah, I totally hear you. So we've got broken, shattered, heartbroken, and destroyed. I broke my own heart because I walked away from you when I should have realized that you were trying to be good to me. You were trying to be loving towards me, right? Hello, welcome to the channel. If it's I-O, I'm sorry for saying it wrong. I hope you're having a good day. Sorrow, loss, grief, depression. So when I read tarot, I channel energy, and I just got hit with a lot of sadness. This is someone who has not been able to put to rest or to heal from or to process pain that they have felt for decades. This could have to do with a relationship with their parents, perhaps even like a first love or something to do with their siblings. But I do feel like this is someone who did not feel accepted. So if they're watching, I'm sending you a big hug. It's important for us to remember that loving yourself is a requirement. Don't let anybody have power over whether or not you love yourself. This is somebody who has felt like they didn't deserve love. This is somebody who pushed people away because they expected it would always end in heartbreak. So this is a little bit difficult for them because they didn't expect it to hurt this much, or they had kind of convinced themselves that they were going to be okay if they walked away, right? Hello, KB. How are you doing? Interesting. Hello, AMX. How are you doing? KB, I hope your day gets better. So we've got hoping, expecting, faith, and manifesting. This is someone who had gotten quite comfortable feeling alone. I really want to send this person a big ol' hug. If you feel lonely, if you feel like you don't have anyone who understands you, don't let that stop you from hoping or believing that one day you will meet friends or love interests that will understand you. This person is starting to realize that when you assume that no one can love you for who you really are, you lose that hope, you lose that drive to work on yourself. It's like defeating, right? So I think they're starting to take ownership, not just of the toxic behavior, but that they're like self-destructive. And I don't want to self-sabotage anymore is where they're coming from, right? This is very meaningful, like processing of emotional trauma that made them doubt whether or not they could be happy in a relationship. And I think a lot of people go through that. So we want to just maybe have a little reminder that you don't know what people are going through, and showing them kindness, even if you don't know them very well. You don't know how much of an impact that might make for somebody, right? Hello, KFC. Oh, there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, right? I think it comes down to whether or not you can appreciate other people, right? And their skill sets or whatever beautiful energy they bring into the world. Hello, Peter. Hello, is it Juhash? I hope I didn't say that wrong, but welcome. Hello, Richard. Hello, Kyle. How are you doing? Oh, Jesus loves you. But I would encourage you to consider how you approach people, because I don't think that's how Jesus would approach people. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing? Hello, Sue Jerry. I hope I said that all right. Yes, my email address is in the description box. I point to this way because that's where the buttons are on my screen. But yeah, the description box has my email address. Thank you. So we've got the Six of Cups in the reverse, Ace of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. So if I'm honest with myself, saith the Chariot, I have ruined something that was beautiful in my life because I couldn't let go of toxic behaviors that were probably passed down to me from my parents or possibly siblings. We had that missed opportunity card come out earlier. So they're trying to find a way to reignite this passion, trying to find a way to not lose you. But the Wheel of Fortune's in the reverse, so it kind of feels like everything is fighting against them right now, right? Oh, thank you. Hello, Woo Woo, how are you doing? If you look in my posts section, you might actually find a picture of me somewhat recently, dressed up as Carmen Sandiego. Hello, Nick. Hello, TT. Hello, Letitia. No, honey, that's how I make my money. All right, so we've got Five of Spheres, or the Five of Pentacles, the Three of Spheres, or the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. Sometimes people just need a little bit of distance. Sometimes, just like the title, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Now that I haven't been around you, now that I haven't been able to benefit from your positive energy, now that I'm wondering if I'm ever going to see you again, I'm feeling just how difficult it is to have that void. I'm realizing just how great you really were, or just how meaningful that connection or that relationship was for me, right? So we've got Four of Cups and the Five of Wands. It's a pretty big swing from rejecting and avoiding a romantic relationship with somebody to now I feel like I have to fight. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care what mountain I have to climb. I don't care if you make me wear Crocs. We'll figure it out. We're gonna get back together. Hey y'all, do me a favor and please don't repeat your messages. They vary from $40 US to $100. And we have the Moon. I feel like this is someone realizing the cycles they've been through and how things have repeated for them. I think at a particular point, this is the Chariot understanding that the common denominator in a lot of their heartbreak was their perception of the other person and their own deserving of love. I got in my own way, I got jealous, or I got insecure, or I thought I needed to argue when I really didn't need to argue. It's like this light bulb moment, but it takes place over weeks. Oh, this happens because I do that, or maybe if I approached it this way, then this wouldn't have happened. So it's definitely a difficult update for their mind, but they're finally starting to realize how they've impacted whether or not they can actually make a healthy relationship happen, right? Oh, thank you. Hello, Jared. How are you doing? I'm sorry, Loans. It's just kind of like my thing. I like to insult Crocs. Don't hate me. Oh, no. Hey, y'all. That's why we have free will, right? You can wear whatever you want, but, like, I'm probably not going to do that. I do offer personal, like, individual readings, yes. And my email's in the description box. Oh, that's so cute. I love that. So we've got bounty hunter, chaser, hot pursuit, pressure cooker, ready to explode. Huh. So the person who ran away, the person who was maybe even prone to ghosting people, now they're feeling like there's a little bit of a fire under their bottom. They're feeling highly motivated to communicate or pursue you, even though they may have been the type to run away all the time, right? That's totally allowed. We can still be friends. Oh, that's kind. Thank you. Yeah, we've definitely got love, and I feel like it's almost like it snuck up on them, right? Maybe they didn't really know what love was. Maybe they thought they did. I feel like for them, this chariot individual looked at love as if it was like always fleeting. I remember I was working in a retail store many years ago, and one of my customers, who is kind of noted for being a bit irritable or difficult, told me once that no relationship is capable of lasting longer than 5 years and still featuring 2 happy people. And I was like, who hurt you? What are you talking about? I could name like 6 people right now just to like contradict you. But I do feel like that's the mindset that we had here, was somebody was like, yeah, maybe you can have like a great time for a month. Maybe you can enjoy each other for a year. Maybe you won't even be sick of each other until 3 years. But I don't know how it could really last beyond that. So like, why should I put that much energy into it? They realized they compromised on their own happiness by limiting who actually had access to them and expecting the worst from people who had never shown them reason to do that. Again, trust issues, right? I expect the worst of you, even though you've been nothing but kind, right? Oh, grind hard, that's so great. I hope you have a good chat. Hello, doctors. How are you doing? We've got grip, anchor, chains, weighed down. Denial. The truth is, even though I assumed that falling in love or being in a long-term relationship would just feel like I was in a cage or, you know, locked away, can't do anything that I want, oppressive, I feel like I have a sense of obligation that I don't want. Now they're realizing that they talked themselves into that perspective because they were protecting themselves, right? So we could have somebody that has gone through PTSD. I don't know if I should say it that way, dealt with PTSD. There could be even some agoraphobia, or I just don't really like letting anybody get to know me, right? Oh, I'm so sorry, Christine. I hope you find a good resolution to that, even if it's some new amazing person that treats you the way that you deserve. Good. We've got negotiator. And drastic. Oh my gosh, you guys, I already pulled from this deck. Nobody told me. That's all right. Look, they don't care what they have to do to a certain extent. It's like, I don't care. What do you want? Let me know. I will apologize to you for 7 days straight. I know I was the one who cut you off, or I know that I was the reason that things had to end, but I'm like looking for any possibility. What can I do to make it right? What do I need to say for you to take me back? I'll say it. Anything, which isn't really the best of approaches, right? If you're trying to apologize, I would think that means it all needs to come from you, right? That's like, let's write our own vows for the ceremony and then you just like quote somebody else. Like, doesn't that defeat the purpose? Hello, Dutch guy. How are you doing? Hello, Masik Kaur. I hope I said that all right. This is the Voyage of the Soul. Hello, Stuffy Stuffington. Thank you for the giggle. That makes me think of, what was that name that they voted for? Was it a cruise ship or some like boat? Everyone was like, Boaty McBoatface. Enlightenment, lessons, emergence, insight, growth, illumination, clear path, distress, dark night of the soul, loss, and experience. Losing you broke my heart, and it made me realize that I was the architect of my own pain, that I was the reason that things ended, that I needed to just stop pushing people away because I was afraid of love, and instead actually maybe consider like letting you in, right? I'm doing well, thank you. We've got free, travel, explore, wild, uninhibited, and adventure. Okay, so this is like, imagine you sign up to go on a hike and you're excited because you're gonna, I don't know, be able to like see whales, or maybe there's like a really beautiful mountain that you're gonna see. And you're like, yeah, this is gonna be great. But nobody tells you that it is like the most difficult hiking path you could possibly imagine, and your feet are gonna hate you by the end of it. This is somebody who's like, oh my gosh, everything's gonna be great. I'm gonna go off and be single and be on my own and no problem whatsoever. They think it's gonna be easy, right? Nope. The world was like, oh, you thought you could just like reject that person who loves you? No. So they wanted this like free and easy single life or off on my own, but what they realized is they were heartbroken and being away from you was unbearable, and they went through the dark night of the soul because they were upset over losing you. So they thought it was a vacation, and it ended up being a grueling lesson. Like picture Uma Thurman's character in Kill Bill when she's dealing with the dude. Do you know what I'm talking about? When she was learning the... you guys know what I'm talking about, right? Hey, Johnny, how are you doing? Hello, Sam. Oh, it will. I'm sending you healing. Aura and tomorrow. Mood, light, glow, shield, protection. Begin again, continue ahead, better days and relief. Hey, you, person who's worked on their life and decided you want to be a better person. You're protected now. You chose the right path. You decided, I'm not going to get in my own way. I'm not going to run away from love. I'm going to make things right with this person. So the universe is like, bet, let's make sure this one's easy for them. Yeah, can we get the little like bumpers, you know, like in bowling alley things when they're like, let's make sure they hit at least a couple of them, right? The universe is on your side. Or your person's side, whoever it may be. Hey, Tiana. How's it going? I hope you're having a good day. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Wow, another Chariot. Six of Swords. I don't want to be away from you. I don't want to be living in that toxic energy. I don't want to keep missing opportunities to be happy because I don't believe in it. So I'm going to change. Six of Swords is moving into like calmer waters, right? Things have been difficult because I kept rejecting love, or I struggled to believe that I deserve that love. I don't care who you are, you deserve love for being exactly who you are. Keep working on yourself. You're a work of art that's never totally complete, right? But you deserve love. Who, me? Hello, Salvatore. How are you doing? Hello, Chris. Sure. Hello, Mashigo. If we get to $15 in tips or 90 likes, I will take personal questions at the end. So we've got the Knight of Swords in the reverse, the Hanged Man, and the Devil. The Devil represents the fear of abandonment, the fear of rejection, the fear of, am I good enough? Do I deserve this love? If you are always working on yourself, if you are always striving to have that accountability and that self-awareness, you will deserve it. But this Devil card is about somebody who doesn't work on that. And that's why they felt like they didn't deserve that, right? So this is a change in perspective. That's why he's hanging upside down, right? You see things differently. I blamed you, but it was my fault. I wanted to make it seem like you were the problem, but I was just afraid of love. I was afraid you were going to reject me, so I ran away. That's funny. We've got the Queen of Cups. Beloved, you're the only one for me. And I walked away from it. I found my other half, or I found my soulmate, and I got scared and ran away. But there's still love here. I can't ignore it. I can't pretend. So this is what inevitably pushes them towards that healing and addressing those things that had made love so, like, impossible, right? All right, we got the Ten of Wands. I think this is somebody who's realizing that maybe it's time. TikTok, they don't have a lot of time. So let's see what they're gonna say. This is the Hidden Truth Oracle. Hey Gnostic, how are you doing? I fear it's about all 19. Just like statistically speaking, I feel like that would be impossible, because for 19 people to make the right decision about their life is probably not supported by most science. Hello, RS. How are you doing? Hello, Jared. Did you see the card flip out of the deck? Does that work for you? We have, you didn't see my tears. They might have made it seem like they were a little bit heartless, right? They hid their emotions, but they have felt this loss and gotten emotional about it. I saved your text and messages. Hello, Cami. How are you doing? Hello, Big Cheese. What kind of cheese? I like Manchego. We've got, I need security and I have trouble with intimacy. So this is where that codependent energy comes from. One day I want to be really close to you. I want to do everything with you. And then the next day I get a little scared and I go, ah, and I run away. Right? Because they don't want to lose it, but they like that feeling. And then when it comes to intimacy, perhaps physical intimacy is better for them, but emotional intimacy makes them feel vulnerable in a way that makes them feel like they don't have the security that they need, right? That's funny. Hey, Cami, if we get to $15 in tips or 90 likes, then I will take personal questions. Hello, Nicole. How are you doing? Hello, John. We have, I admire you, and I would do it all again. I think that's a really important card. I would do it all again. This person had their heart ripped out and like dragged behind them, but they would do it all again. This is meaningful change, meaningful healing that takes into consideration the things that they've been ignoring that actually made it impossible for them to be able to be with you. The way you handled yourself, I feel like you were communicative or at least classy, right? You didn't blame this person or get, I don't know, out of pocket. I think you knew what they were doing. I think you knew where they were coming from. We have, I can't do this and I see life differently now. They don't want to be away from you any longer. I've got to get through to you. I've got to have a conversation with you. I really need to make sure that you understand that my perspective has changed, that I understand that I was being toxic or that I wasn't being fair to you, and that if you gave me another chance, it would be completely different than how it was last time, right? Hello, good news. How are you doing? That's right, stuffies. Or stuffing. All right, what else do we have? No, that's not true. I got light right here. What you talking about? You can ask anybody that knows me. I am like real particular about the light. I don't like being drowned in like fluorescent lighting. So I feel so happy with you. Remember we had that happiness card come out? They've been really sad, they've been really lonely, they've been missing you. But when they think back on the time that they spent with you, that's when they were happiest. So they want that again. And they know there's maybe a chance that they could have that again. Thank you, Johnny. Okay, Sandra. Hope you're having a good day. Thank you, John. Hello, Kartik. How are you doing? So the thing is, they don't know how you feel. They know you don't have any idea what they've been going through. I don't think they've really told anybody, to be honest. I think this has been something they've been going through mostly on their own. But I do feel like how you conduct yourself has helped them understand that a change was needed, right? Understand that they needed to look within instead of blaming others. This is the golden Lenormand. Number 33, the key, and number 27, the envelope. So now they've gotten through this list of things they needed to work on. It may not have been an actual checklist. It may have just been like, maybe now I need to work on that, or maybe I should finally address this problem, right? Now that I've gone through the list, now that I've dealt with those things that made it difficult for me to feel like I deserve love, now I have to actually send this communication. It's like, ringy-dingy, hello? Ah! Like freaking out, you know? I don't know if I'm ready for this conversation. I don't know if I can convey what I need to convey. How do I demonstrate for somebody that I'm a different person? How do I show them that I'm going to like love them in a healthy way instead? How do I explain all that without it sounding like very self-serving, right? Hello, Adrian. Hello, Chandler. Do you think I'm trying to be king? Just curious. So we've got swept up, head over heels, falling in love, intense emotions. They thought they knew what love was, but they did not. You taught them what real love is. They're going to tell you how they feel. They're going to tell you that they genuinely love you and that they thought they could, you know, walk away from it. That they thought that it was too likely to end in heartbreak. That they didn't really invest in it, but they can't be apart from you much longer. Yeah, this is somebody who does tend to ghost or doesn't really know how to handle difficult conflict type conversations, right? And I feel like if they were struggling to take accountability, if they kept, overindulging or, blaming you for things that they were doing, they might have been dealing with some anger issues or partying too much. They didn't really want to hear what you had to say, right? This is somebody who kind of enjoyed not following the rules and being a bit unmanageable. It has to do with all that unhealed energy, right? But because they've been addressing that, they're in a more peaceful place, which I think is making it easier for them to actually have this conversation with you and address those feelings that they've been hiding. Thank you. Hello, Veronica. How are you doing? Hello, Herman. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes, and I hope to see you on the next reading. Toodles.